Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyadi Prashnata Desatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gurudev. So we continue our reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, and today we will see the verse number 23. So let's chant the shloka. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka,
नैनं चिन्तन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः
na chainam kledayanti po,
न
yantyapo,
न चैनं क्लेद्यन्त्यापो
na shoshayati marutaha.
न शोष्यति मारुतः
Nainam chindanti shastrani,
नैनं चिन्तन्ति शस्त्राणि
nainam dahati pavakaha,
नैनं दहति पावकः
na chainam kledayantyo tyapo,
न चैनं क्लेद्यन्त्यापो
na shoshayati marutaha.
न शोष्यति मारुतः
Please chant if anybody.
नै नैनं चिन्तन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेद्यन्त्यापो न शोष्यति मारुतः
Anybody else want to chant? Okay, so let's see the translation and purport. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, not withered by the wind. Purport. All kinds of weapons, sword, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapon, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made up of earth, water, fire, ether, etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons, but formerly there were other weapons made up of different types of material elements. Fire weapons are counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to the modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapon. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces, nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of the scientific devices. The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusionary energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual soul from the original supreme soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the supreme soul. Because they are automatic individual souls eternally sanatan, they are prone to be covered by illusionary energy. Thus, they become separated from the association of Supreme Lord. Just as the sparks of fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. In the Varaha Puran, the living entities are separated parts and parcels of the Supreme. They are eternally so, according to the Bhagavad Gita also. So, even after being liberated from the illusion, the living entity remains separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of the Lord to Krishna. Arjuna became liberated by knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. So, Krishna, continuing his instructions to Arjuna, now he is, because he already explained to Arjuna about the eternity of soul and how the body is perishable. But still, the question may come like, okay, When the body is finished, the soul, what happens to soul? It can be killed by some divine weapon, because celestial weapons, which are of much higher content or higher material element. So Krishna is telling Arjuna about this quality of soul, that it cannot be finished by any material weapon, because it's not, because the soul is a spiritual being which is not of this material world. So here he gives different examples like shastra, weapon, pavakaha, fire, uh, apo means apaha means water, maruta means wind. So earth, water, fire, air, ether, these are the five mahabhut, or what we say, the main material elements of which everything, from which everything is created. Our body also, everything that is created has these five elements. So here Krishna is explaining that all these five elements cannot do anything to soul. uh, so here we see there is not mention of ether, because ether is very very subtle, but it is the medium through which the sound passes, right? We say um, that's the medium. So it's very subtle for us to understand. Even air is subtle. We cannot see the air, right? So it's very subtle. Only we can see is water. We can see weapon. We can see, and uh, fire we can see, but air we cannot see by these eyes. The ether is more subtle than air, so uh, we cannot imagine ether. So, but it is the medium through which the sound passes. We say the space. Right? The space is there, but we cannot see how the space is there. But the space is there. So we occupy, our body itself occupies a space in this room where we are sitting, right? So here Krishna is saying all these elements cannot kill um, the soul. And the size of the soul we checked, right, few verses back, it's very very minute. And from a simple general logical point of view, if we see that such a minute particle, it cannot be uh, traced by anything material. It cannot be seen, it cannot be captured, nothing can be done. So it's biologically also, it's not nothing can be done with the material weapons to this. So that's how Krishna is saying that the soul, that's why the soul is eternal. So even if Bhishma is killed or Drona is killed by any weapon, uh, then also the soul will remain the same. And we can see this power of this water, fire. In Japan, we have seen the great earthquake. Then the tsunami came. We have seen the power of the water element. If the water element is excess, it creates havoc. It takes the lives. If the fire is excess, it takes the life also. So all the weapons are based on fire mostly. The heat quality and the fire quality, and through which these physical bodies are finished. The tornado, like wind, we can say the typhoons is the power of wind, right? Just wind, air we cannot see, but when the wind we cannot see, but when the typhoon comes, it can devastate everything within seconds, right? So it has a tremendous power, but all these powerful weapons, they cannot do anything to the soul, because it is a spiritual thing. So Srila Prabhupada mentions about these weapons that in the modern age, we have basically in India, we have seen this different, like in Mahabharata or Ramayana, we read that these different weapons were used in the war. And they had all the warriors, they had all these skills to attack one weapon by the another weapon. So now we actually cannot imagine how all these things were happening, but in all the shastra it is mentioned So in the Vedas also it's mentioned. So these weapons were operational in certain age that are not there. But the main point is the eternity of soul. The soul is never going to finish by anything material or celestial thing. So Arjuna is should not have any doubt in his mind for not fighting. Uh, so here Prabhupada also mentions about how the soul came into being. It's eternal. So that's why it does. And we have seen that it in the previous verses that it does not have start. It's existing. The present, future, past does not apply to soul because it just exists. So the time factor is not applicable to soul because it is eternal. And the main point, Srila Prabhupada also mentions about the individuality. We have seen in one shloka that the soul is an individual. It will remain the individual after the liberation, just like Arjuna. So Arjuna received the knowledge, and then what he did, he dovetailed all his wish and desires with the wish of the God or Lord or Krishna, Vishnu, and then he participated or he fought in the war. So he remained Arjuna. So even after getting the complete knowledge, he remained the same personality and he participated in the war. So that is one of the point that soul being eternal, it will remain after the body also finishes. So in that perspective also, Arjuna should not have any doubt to avoid fighting, or if I kill Bhishma or the Drona or any other of his friends or gurus, then they will incur any sin of killing because there's nothing is going to be finished as such. And body, about body, we already yesterday saw that anyway they will get a new body which is renewation, so he should not lament for that. So here Krishna is slowly um, this is nainam, so it's all na, right? So this is naiti philosophy, we say, right? Not this, not this, not this, not this. So by this we prove something. It's not equal to b, it's not equal to c, it's not equal to d, not equal to e, so it is equal to a. So this is also one way of coming to the conclusion, right? So this we see in this shloka, nainam two times, then na in the third part, then again na. So this is also one of the way to prove the things. So I think we discussed this, that this is one of the way to prove your point. If you put up your point, Krishna has already put up his point that it is eternal and it cannot be finished when the body finished. So he's giving that whatever the possibilities Arjuna can think of by which the soul can be finished or damaged, Krishna is clearing that nothing of that will be impacting the soul itself. So he should not have any doubt for fighting. So Krishna will give some more peculiar characteristics of the soul, and he will try to go to the point where Arjuna should not have any doubt about the soul's eternal and the spiritual form. So that we will continue to see from tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Any questions or
I
doubts?
have one question. Like, can you explain this sentence, your last paragraph? Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original super soul.
Mhm.
Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated part of the supreme soul.
Mm. So that this Prabhupada is talking about the philosophy or the concept that the impersonalists have, right? Some philosophy say that souls are parts and parts. And when we say parts, generally the material conception is uh, material conception is part of the flower or part of the something, that means it is cut and divided into that. That is what we call parts in our material concept of life.
Cutting.
Cutting. So that is not the concept of the soul. That is what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that if somebody says that this is the philosophy, that is also wrong, because the part, it is a part cut, then it should again fit into that. But soul is not like that. It's not cut. It's individually existing from the beginning. That is the point here is clearing that such philosophy is not perfect.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I had one question, but
Mhm.
it's not related to this chapter. Or
Mhm.
I just had one question regarding the uh, soul, how he gets a human body. Like, is it only after evolution he gets a human body, or like what is the how it gets a human body, soul?
Uh, in Bhagavatam, um, we have different stories like Kardama and Devoti story, and Diti also. How they got the demons, right? How demons were born. In that, there it is mentioned, right? Then when the two bodies unite, then at particular time of this, like that, there it is mentioned that how demons were born. That time was inauspicious, and at that time the souls which are inauspicious or which are not having any gross body, those they are looking for the body. So that time, the people who will unite, that type of soul enters the womb of mother. So that is mentioned in Bhagavatam, right? So evolution, like today's morning class, um, Panu Maharaj mentioned, right? How the evolution happens from animal body to the human body by different steps based on your karma and the standard cycle. For animals, there is not so much karma thing, so it goes upper and upper. But for human, it has like a karma based. And the evolution means, if you are trying to say that if this based on our desires, that type of body will be arranged for us where we can fulfill our desires. So, one example Srila Prabhupada gives that in our Vedic culture, uh, woman is advised to be very chaste to husband. So if a woman is chaste to husband, at the time of her death also, she will think of the husband. So her her desire or her attachment or her thinking of the man uh, male body will give her the male body in the next lifetime, and that will be based on whatever the desires he had. So in Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned, right? Even if this even if you cannot complete your complete spiritual practice or bhakti process, then next life, if you have this life, if you have done bhakti process, then you will get a better birth. And the birth will be which birth? In a family where you will have opportunity to do the bhakti, continue the bhakti. So this there are, that's why these sacrifices are there, right? Before having the any kids, there is one puja, right? What is the name? Garbha samskar. So in that also, the feel the concept is that we invoke the auspicious souls to enter into our family. So that is how the souls are transferred from one body to another body with the subtle body. I hope that this gives some idea at least.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. In today's Bhanu Maharaj class, he said he was mentioning regarding the evolution process, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard it. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Jagannath Puri also has some benediction, right? Whoever eats Lord Jagannath Prasadam, any animal, anybody, they gets the human body next life.
That is for, it's
Even animals also, they surpass the births in between, the yonis in between, and they directly get a human body because they ate a Lord Jagannath Prasad.
that's for I think Vrindavan also, right?
Mm.
So on these special places, uh, the very auspicious places or dham, what we say dham, they have the special benedictions from some time immemorial that whatever you do there has spiritual results that may give special births, special considerations will maybe there. Okay, thank you very much for joining on Sunday evening, which is very encouraging. And we'll continue our discussions tomorrow with further discussion about the soul and how Krishna refutes all the arguments of Arjuna. Still, he's talking about the soul's eternity. Let's see what he says tomorrow's shloka. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.